Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Howson, and this is a look into how Ronaldo could tactically fit into Manchester United's system. So then Cristiano has signed for Manchester United. He has been given the number 7 shirt, and he's yet to play for Manchester United. And I think it's worth looking at just how he could quite fit into Manchester United's system. He wasn't a signing that United desperately needed. He was a signing that I think we had to have. And he's just one of those that if he becomes available, he is still one of the very best footballers in world football. If he wants to come and he's available, you just get him. It's as simple as that. Now, I've seen some utter nonsense from various sources and from some people that I actually respected as well, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I'm just going to throw some stuff at you. 29 goals and 3 assists in 33 games. 32 goal involvements in 33 games. He was Serie A top scorer last season, which makes him essentially a £100 million striker for United, seeing as though he outscored Lukaku. In his last 50 matches, he has played 43 games as a centre-forward. He's played 6 games on the right and 1 game as a left winger. He's just scored a brace against Ireland, showing that heading ability now I think puts him into 28 headed goals internationally, which is quite frankly ridiculous, but that's where he fits. Now, let's have a look how he could fit into Manchester United's system at the moment. Now, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, United have really started to favour the 4-2-3-1. We have occasionally played a 3 at the back, but 4-2-3-1 has been the pretty much default. Now, I spoke to Mike Phelan on Vibe with 5, and he told me that United were looking to move to a 4-3-3. I think that there's a good chance we remain in the 4-2-3-1 because we still haven't found the very best midfielder. That was the position that United fans really wanted to see us sign. There's no doubt Ronaldo now is into the twilight of it. I mean, I would hope he's in the twilight of his career. If he stays like a month beyond the end of this contract that he's just signed, then he would be the 20th anniversary of him signing for Manchester United. So I think it's fair to say it's the twilight of his career. And he's adapted himself into being a pretty much just centre forward, as opposed to being the inverted forward and the winger of his youth. And he is the focal point of a team, but he's not a hold-up player. He uses his goal-scoring abilities, his movement, his instincts, which are ridiculous, his finishing, and obviously his aerial ability to transform himself from that tricky winger doing a million step-overs and then cutting inside onto his left to shoot into a clinical box predator. But he's not just an in-the-box predator. He does a lot of his work outside, and he likes to peel off to the left-hand side a little bit as well. As effective as Ronaldo still is, and I think he's probably going to play a lot of available minutes, if not all of available minutes, it would be a little bit of a shame if his arrival resulted in a reduction of minutes for someone, say, like Mason Greenwood. And I don't think politically you can see Jadon Sancho reducing his minutes because he's just been a marquee signing. Edinson Cavani doesn't deserve reduced minutes. And surely Marcus Rashford plays when he's fit as well. So United have got some serious, and I think we can all agree that Tony Marshall made a poor decision by staying at Manchester United because I do not think he's getting any game time whatsoever this season. Now, the arrival of one of the best players that's ever played the game, I think you're going to find, or you're going to struggle to find negatives for the embarrassment of riches that Ole's got up front. Not only does he have, I mean, the only thing he doesn't have is a pure hold-up player. And Cavani can do it, but it's not his natural game. That's the only thing United don't really have. We've got options, we've got impact from the bench, we've got world-class finishing ability, we've got pace, we've got everything. And we've got wide options that also further lessens the need for Ronaldo to play in those positions, but it doesn't mean that he can't. Okay, then option 1, which I think would be an extremely effective way for Manchester United to utilise the very best of our world-class talent and also be able to minimise the impact that the midfield has in a negative sense. I think you're probably still going to be looking at a McFred midfield, but it allows you to play 4 absolute match winners and give them the freedom to go and win the match. With McFred providing a platform to stop any counter-attacks coming, because you can't just play 11 attacking players and go, don't worry about it, because someone has to give them the ball. You have to win possession back to be able to go and start attacks. So in a 4-2-3-1, United could line up like this. Bruno in his 10, Sancho on the right, Pogba on the left, and Ronaldo down the centre. Now, this is what I would think that could be an option while Rashford is still injured. So I said, with Rashford's injury, Pogba's been operating and performing on that left-hand side of the three, but he does drift centrally and deeper when he plays there as well. And these rotations are important because they're hard to pick up. One of the problems with Louis van Gaal is the players stood in positions and passed it to each other's feet. That was why it looked static and it looked slow. If you want to play fast, you have to play it beyond people. You have to put it a couple of yards in front of them, and that speeds the play up. Literally, just that one change speeds the play up. If you want to speed the play up even more, you have your players rotating through positions. Your 8 becomes your 10 becomes your left winger, your striker moves over to the right-hand side, these sorts of things. And you're playing the ball in front of them as well. You as a defence don't know who to mark. And because you don't know who to mark, you end up being a bit static. They look like they're moving really quickly, and you don't know who to pick up. And that's how you create chances. Now, this is something that United could really go with here. That's an intelligent forward line. Sancho, Pogba, Ronaldo, Bruno is elite, and it's quick, all of them. And they're absolutely shit on the ball, a lot of them. Now, Pogba, on paper, looks like he's on the left-hand side here. But Pogba's drifting centrally into the sort of number 10 position. You go, well, that's going to get in Bruno's way. Not really, because Bruno's never in the number 10 position. Bruno thinks he plays as a 9. Bruno's into the box more than our centre-forwards are. So Pogba comes central, Bruno moves up. Well, where's Ronaldo going to go? Ronaldo actually likes to operate on that left-hand side. Now, Ronaldo coming back, peeling into that space, allowing Pogba and Bruno and Sancho and actually Luke Shaw to get ahead of him could prove very fruitful for Manchester United. Because what you're going to do, just leave Ronaldo unmarked. Good luck with that. Oh, and by the way, you're leaving Bruno unmarked. Oh, don't worry about Sancho and is Luke Shaw to go and start spamming crosses in there. Sensational. Another option would be Ronaldo partnering Cavani in a 4-4-2. And I think it would have to be a diamond at this point. As much as I joked the other day about how United could play a flat 4-4-2, Rashford, Sancho, Bruno, Pogba, and then Cavani and Ronaldo. Honestly, you'd have to be playing Paddock FC for that to work. Because I think even though that to be honest, you could play a League Cup team like that. And somewhere you're going to know that you're going to dominate 60-70% of the ball because there is no protection for the defence if it's Pogba and Bruno. But if you did get on the ball, good luck to that defence. You might see United line up like that in the last 10 minutes of a game. I don't think United are going to start it. Now, if they lined up in a 4-4-2 diamond, though, for example, and Ole did opt for that in a few games last season, I think it'd probably be at the detriment of one of our wide players, Sancho or Rashford, because how centrally and narrow this formation is. It could probably, though, give you a diamond that consists of McTominay, Van der Beek, Pogba and Bruno, which again, stacked with quality, stacked with very good, intelligent footballers that know how to do an exact job. And McTominay's limitation in this sort of system is that you don't need 2 defensive midfielders because you've got a plethora of extra midfielders and those bodies would clog up the centre, stopping any sort of attack from the opposition. And McTominay's lack of ability on the ball would be hidden by the fact that he's got 3 options right on top of him and all he's got to do is keep it simple. The benefits with that is if you've got attacking fullbacks, possibly why Manchester United were looking at Trippier, then you can go to those attacking fullbacks. Luke Shaw would do it on the left, Tellers would do it on the left, but on the right-hand side, it's a little bit asymmetric and it's not quite as deadly on that right-hand side. Another option that United could look at is a 3 at the back. That would allow you to play 2 strikers, and particularly going to be an option against Chelsea. Ole does like to tailor his formations to what the opposition are going to do sometimes, and if Chelsea are playing a back 3, they're a seriously dangerous team. That might be the way that United look to try and limit them. We do have multiple good centre-halves, and I think having someone like Varane in that Rio Ferdinand mould, where he can sit off and organise Maguire to his left and maybe Lindelof to his right, then that could be another option as well. That also allows your fullbacks to push further up. Maybe somebody like Dalot can come in on the right-hand side because all he needs to do is start spamming crosses in. And to be honest, the delivery of Dalot is that good that you can just have Ronaldo and Cavani and probably get a shit ton of goals. The option that I think we would all like us to go with is the 4-3-3. The 4-3-3 is the most difficult one to sort of justify because it means pulling Bruno back just a little bit. It also means that you're only going to feature one of your major strikers, which means Cavani or Ronaldo are going to have to take a seat. Now, I don't imagine or envisage either of those staying on the bench for the entire 90 and never coming on, but I do question how happy either would be with doing that. One option that you've got in a 4-3-3 to be able to fit these guys in, though, and you could do this in a 4-3-3, providing Bruno can actually play in the 4-3-3, because it's not something we've asked him to do a lot at United. But I think he's a good enough and intelligent and a box-to-box enough player that he could do this. We just haven't seen him do this. You could play an extremely attacking lineup, which has something along the lines of Pogba and Bruno as two very attacking number 8s. You're going to need someone to hold it together, and a lot of you aren't going to like to hear this, but Fred does the dirty work. Now, on the ball, no one's sitting here and telling you he's good enough. Fred can do the dirty work, but I think you might see it being McTominay because he's a little bit level up on Fred on the ball, but he still does a lot of the dirty work and covers the ground and has got insane cardio to be able to get across the pitch and cover and block and do all the dirty work that Fred does. So if you have McTominay at the base of a 3, you play Pogba and Bruno, it's an extremely attacking midfield 3. But then what you could do is give Ronaldo that slightly unfavourable, unfamiliar position that he has been fulfilling on the left-hand side. Play Cavani down the middle and play Sancho or Rashford on the right-hand side. And it would be... A lot of people won't like it because they like to see the balance. They like both fullbacks going, both wingers either doing that or coming inside. And this would be a very lopsided attack. You're not seeing Wan-Bissaka going and doing too much when you've got Sancho ahead of him, maybe looking to get to the byline. But one of the benefits of having Ronaldo playing as the left forward, he's already sort of peeling off and creating in that left sort of space. If he's got ahead of him Pogba, Bruno, Sancho and Cavani as options, he's got the ball playing ability to be able to put those players in. And you've got to remember the width on the left-hand side isn't coming from Ronaldo. So all the people that are thinking, well, Ronaldo's not going to be going around the outside. He was never going to do that anyway. And the width and attacking threat penetration from the left-hand side would always still come from Luke Shaw. And in doing that, you're going to create a lot of space, because if you see Ronaldo lining up on the left-hand edge of the box and you've got Cavani central, you've got Sancho to the periphery on the right-hand side, you've got Pogba and Bruno lurking for a Scholesy special 25-yard screamer, and you've got Luke Shaw who plays runs an overlapping run to his left. What do you do in that particular situation as a defence? Because Ronaldo's got the crossing ability from his left foot to be able to stick one in there for Cavani to get his napper on. And if he misses it, Pogba's there. Oh, and if it gets cleared, you've got Bruno on the edge of the box. All right, cool. And if it goes the whole way, you've got Sancho to just blast it back in again for Ronaldo to get on the back end of. Or for Ronaldo to ghost in. Ronaldo coming on a blindside run to get his head on it is how he scored 2 goals this weekend. I actually think that Ronaldo playing off the 3 might be something that United certainly look at while Marcus Rashford is injured. I also think the possibility of Pogba playing there as well is something that United are definitely considering. Hence, that's why we've seen him there. He's not a winger, not anymore. He's evolved as a footballer, and he offers such a potent threat that you can probably play him anywhere, and he's going to get himself on the score sheet. I think he probably does line up as the 9 for United. I think it'd be very interesting to see what happens next week in the Newcastle game, where and how he lines up. I think the 9 is the easiest position because it's got the least responsibilities. The only problem is that Manchester United have recently become a pressing team. Whether that's Cavani, whether that's Bruno, whether that's Rashford or Sancho, or even Dan James while he was hit, Manchester United press from the front. Cristiano Ronaldo does not press. He is one of the worst pressing forwards in the world. But I don't think anyone's complaining about that. We're just acknowledging the fact that this is a guy that no longer presses the ball. So United are going to see a fundamental shift of what we do in and out of possession. But one thing I can absolutely guarantee, it's going to be fireworks. And whether he's played on the left or down the centre, it doesn't matter. we are going to be absolutely lifting the roof off in the Stretford end, because it's going to be absolutely outrageous. And for everyone that said he's fucking finished, we're taking names, because you could not be further from the fucking truth. This guy is still one of, if not the best player in the fucking world. He's absolutely elite, and he's going to prove that to you next week. Up the fucking Reds. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.